knockout person. It's boxing.
It's boxing. It's not about being knocked out. This is the skill.
I'll tell you this: if I had $50,000 to spend on one fight, and I got to pick who I want to fight, CNA Prime,
But
it's
I
Mike Tyson, 10 out of 10.
Oh, I'm more. I was just about to say that. I'm a Mike Tyson fan more than I am a Mayweather fan. I believe if Mike Tyson don't go to Tokyo and act the ass and get knocked out, not be prepared, over there sexing, and these dudes had
Stayed away from Robin Givens.
They had rubber gloves with ice and water in it on his face in a boxing match. That's not, come on, man. So I feel like if he doesn't go through all that and that his mental was already in question, he's a whole nother person. He's a whole nother, like Mike Tyson would beat Ali. In my opinion.
So. He said he would, but I don't know if that's Mike Tyson talk.
He's humble right now.
Yeah, he is too.
18-year-old Mike Tyson wouldn't have said that.
I love who Mike Tyson didn't manifest it
right
into.
now.
Yes, I love who he is.
A lot of marijuana.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it is.
The dude, when I hear him talk, man, it's just you can see that he grew. Like some stuff really sank in into him. So I think that's why he's up there. But I think the reason why Muhammad Ali is just so great to me is it's something about how the legacy, what your kids turn into from watching you. You make such a shadow, make such a persona that your kid has no choice but to go out there and try to do what you do. And to watch his daughter go out there, and I mean, of course, she wasn't the boxer he was, you know what I'm saying? But to watch her do that, to watch LeBron James' son do that, and I'm interested because Curry's got that kind of style. I'm wondering how his kids are gonna manifest, how they're because there's certain ways people are, like they take up the air in the room, but they still let other people breathe. Like Dwayne Wade, you can tell he can take up all the air, but at the same time, he's letting people breathe, and so you see it in their kids, and I think it's a hard thing that when you're successful like they are, for your kid to be successful.
Oh, definitely, because you got the microscope. Is he better than his dad? Oh, he's not as good.
And I noticed that the ones that aren't super great, that regular players, their kids are the ish in the NBA.
Yeah.
I think they said Scottie Pippen's son
he's nice. Kenyon Martin's son is nice. Even Dwayne Wade's son is nice from what I hear. But it's a lot. Like you can even go with Curry and Dale Curry. Dale Curry was an average player.
Yeah.
He could shoot, but he was an average player.
He didn't shoot like him.
No.
He didn't shoot like him.
Not at all. So, yeah, the ones that because people like Kobe, LeBron, Michael Jordan, even Tom Brady, they're so great at what they do that it's hard to get on their level. It's hard to go out there with Tom Brady and miss the ball.
Oh man,
his son could, if he had a son, he can never be a quarterback because he's gonna critique him and break him down, and it's
that Manny that's coming out right now.
Yeah,
it's about to be ridiculous.
Hard.
You know how good he's gotta be.
He's gotta be because his expectation just in his family alone, and then the media's expectation, and then us as fans, we're 9 times out of 10 we're looking for him to fail.
Yes. We want to see him fail.
It's cold. We want to see him fail just so we can say, he ain't all that.
But just to touch back before I forget, so on boxing, I'm going like this.
You want
Muhammad
Ali?
I will go Joe Louis.
Joe Louis first?
Joe Louis first. Muhammad Ali. Then there's Mike Tyson. Then I want to say Chavez, because I watched him for a little while. Mm-hmm. I watched him for a decent little while. I watched him win and stuff. The other dude, Pacquiao, he's not in there. He's just not in there for me. I don't remember. I know he won a lot of fights, but I don't remember who he was fighting. You know what I mean? Oh, Sugar Ray Leonard. He's in there. He's in there. He's got to be in there some era of where he was at, because I think he was.
What's that, the 80s?
I think that's the 80s. Because I think he's the dude that started where he hit you twice and you think he hit you once.
But you have to think.
Could Muhammad Ali Not Muhammad Ali. Sugar Ray Leonard.
Beat Mayweather? I think no, because he's too aggressive. He would be too aggressive. Mayweather doesn't get hit. That's what people don't. You have to understand. For every one time you hit him, he's hitting you 4 times.
Yeah, he's hitting 4 times.
And that gets frustrating after.
And Mike Tyson even said it. Mike Tyson said he's a great fighter. He's one of the best, but he doesn't consider him greatest of all time because of how he is.
Because how he is personally.
Yes.
That's why a lot of people don't like him.
Okay.
We can't always go on. We can't, if we talking about what they do in the ring, you have to take personality and everything that happens away from the ring out of the equation.
The greatest football player ever is Lawrence Taylor, to me.
The greatest football player as a whole ever is Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor.
I'm not going to argue that because Lawrence Taylor was a hell of a player. And he did it all.
He changed the whole linebacker game.
Yeah.
He's got to be considered the greatest. But he's also, by far, in that era, no, that's tough.
No, not in that era.
Not in that
Michael
era.
Irvin was
No, because I have to say, I'm sorry. I'm always going to lean towards Joe Montana when it comes to football. But just to end up boxing, I will agree with you. Mayweather is the greatest thing I've seen in the last years.
20 years.
Yeah,
20
at
years.
least 20 years.
Real. Like while he was doing it, there was nobody. His wins was like it was so one sided that you can't argue his wins.
Right.
It's not even a thing where he got beat that. No.
No.
You can't. If you go back and watch it, he beats the hell out of people.
The only thing you can say is, it looks like he had a chance to lose.
Yeah. Or he didn't knock him out. But that's not what boxing is. If you understand boxing is a skill. It's hit and not get hit.
Yeah.
Mayweather comes out of his fights and you won't even think he had a fight. So
man, that's crazy.
I can't. Even with Muhammad Ali, like all our greats, and I hate to say this, but all our greats barely could talk.
Yeah.
Because they've been hit so many times.
Right.
So if
Mayweather is sharp as a knife.
If he's over 40 fights, no losses, and he's still sharp and active with his kids, and he can drive, and everything is all okay, then I don't see how he didn't have a good career.
You know what? You have officially convinced me on that dude, because you're right. The dude has 50 fights, and he's sharp as a nail.
He's sharp.
He's sharp as a nail.
That's the new era. Is if you can get out while you still can walk, just like in any other sport, just like a running back wants to get out while he still can walk and play with his kids.
I have to ask you a question about basketball before I forget.
What's this?
Man, how long do you think the Warriors are going to be good? Because remember, and think about this, the way that they're playing, they're going to be deep in the playoffs. So you see how the injury bug hit them a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. They're older now. How long can they do this run?
I think
before you say something, I'd say 2 years.
I was about to say 3. 3 to 4 years, if they can keep their younger pieces around.
They really can't focus on the regular season at all.
No.
They got to start giving those awards away.
Yeah, they got to let that go.
They got
and then focus when it's time. But if they can keep Poole, if they can keep the Wiseman, if they can keep I can't think of the one little kid. If they can keep him, if they can keep 3 of their young stars coming up and stay healthy. If Clay's knees stay healthy and they keep everybody happy, they have 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
But that's a big if, because when people start hearing that money and so and so got this much and they already got Draymond Green asking for money.
I will tell you this, I don't know what these guys be thinking, and this is just coming from a person, and I apologize, I don't want to spend nobody's money, but I'll tell you, Tom Brady took more pay cuts than anybody. He's probably got more money than anybody.
Yeah, that's a fact. Because with these contracts, you don't have to get the $200 million contract. You get 150, and then they're gonna give you incentives if you do X, Y, and Z. So you're gonna make that money back. You don't need the big number. That's for us. That's for us to read and say, "Oh my God, he got this much."
Especially if you. So Tom Brady might have took a pay cut, but because he played in the playoffs, I think the paychecks in the playoffs at least go up 25%. So this dude
played
weeks. 20 years, and he's been in the playoffs at least 18 years, and he's been in the Super Bowl 10 years.
So and every week they still getting more checks.
Yeah.
So for me it's when you go for that big check, you're saying I know we're not gonna win.
Right.
I'm just gonna get this money.
I think the Warriors had an amazing situation because if Curry doesn't get hurt, he demands more money, and they can't do nothing. I think the Warriors do nothing. But I would say, so if we're looking at football, 80s, it's got to be Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
That connection. And you said 80s, so Bo Jackson.
Ooh. Just say ended too early. 70s has to be, if I'm saying a player, 70s.
Joe Brown?
I think he might be 70s. Yeah. Jim Brown.
I said Joe.
Jim Brown. But there were so many players, but Jim Brown was so dominant.
Jim Brown was so dominant.
But you also had the Steelers in their dominance at that point in time. And the Raiders. It's just that the Raiders lost. They would have been more dominant if they lost that play at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. You know, the immaculate catch. That's what I'm saying. That's what's so tough about football, is that you can lose a game and it could change your whole legacy. Warren Moon, had he won that Super Bowl?
Not even, was it the Super Bowl?
No, it was the game before the Super Bowl. But he'd have made it.
We was killing the Bills. And they came. I was a huge Oilers fan. That's all I said was Oilers. Warren Moon was my favorite player. And they came back. At halftime, I was talking so much trash because my cousin was a Bills fan. And I was owning. And they came back and won the game.
And they came back and won it. And mind you, that dude had a great career. Ridiculous stats. But because he didn't win that Super Bowl, he's not talked about as big. Doug Williams get more props than him, and I don't even know if Doug Williams played more than one season in the NFL. That was the only season I really watched Doug Williams play.
But he won a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl.
First black coach.
Eli Manning. They said Eli Manning might make the Hall of Fame. That dude had a below average career. But guess who he beat?
He beat Tom Brady.
He beat Tom Brady and Belichick in the Super Bowl
He's
at their height.
Yeah, he's got two of them.
He's got two of them.
He has more than his brother, who I think is, in my opinion, is the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Him, Joe Montana, then we're going to get to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Well, because Tom Brady is great, but he's great at everything, if that makes sense. Like, he's great at every part of the game, so the off-the-field stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to manage that. Whereas I think, as great as Manning was, he didn't have that type of control off the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, they finally got a kicker, and then all of a sudden they won a Super Bowl. You know, they got a kicker they could trust, and they won a Super Bowl. But yeah, I think that sucks for Peyton Manning, because you're right. That dude was dominant, but he just couldn't get man. But that Patriots defense.
See, what I don't like about football, the conversation with football is it's not a one player is not playing both sides.
Right.
So how can we say you that good, or if your team lose, if Peyton Manning throws for 350 yards and they're winning by a touchdown, but then his team give up a touchdown and
they go for 2.
They go for 2 and win the game. Now he don't get a W, and we're saying somebody else is better than him. And we put the whole game on him. I don't like that.
It's not fair.
So
that the messed up thing about the Super Bowl the Niners lost to Baltimore is Frank Gore ran the ball all the way down to the 3-yard line and didn't touch the ball the rest of the game.
So similar to what Seattle did.
And then when we played the Chiefs, Debo Sanders got you to the Super Bowl. He touched the ball 3 times in the Super Bowl. So and football it's tough, you know, because you can't just, like basketball, just hand the ball to the guy and be like, go do your thing.
Go do, yeah.
You got, man, this guy's got a block.
Yeah.
You know, what if the whole week they were like, we're going to stop that one player? Football, you can do that. You can go over there and sit on him and hit him every single play and do that. But basketball, you're going to get a fine. You're gonna get a fine. So, I don't know. I would say the 90s.
The 90s is too many.
It's too many.
You got Emmitt Smith. You got you got Deion Sanders.
Right. How do you not put it? He goes to two different teams
and win Super Bowl. He's so dominant, and he's dominant to where they don't even want to. You don't even pass to that. He started that. Don't even pass to this side.
So I guess it would be best to say that the greatest of all time conversation is just a lazy conversation.
It's definitely a lazy conversation, but it's just something to argue about.
And I think I wonder if it's more or less people that don't know sports that use that.
I think it's
because
when you have your favorite player, you want that favorite. That's my favorite player, so he's my favorite player over this guy. Because you're not gonna pick somebody. I'm not gonna pick somebody over Jordan. That's my favorite player.
Right.
And that's just hands down. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna tell you some good things about somebody else, but when it comes down to it, for me, Jordan is the all-time as far as. And that's just the icon. That's the eye test. And just seeing him play and his dominance on the court versus all the other players.
Yeah, because I don't know, like tennis-wise, if Serena and Venus could beat Arthur Ashe. You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Though. That's a different conversation.
Right.
Because you got to think the speed of their serves. Serena serves the ball over 100 miles an hour. Like it's hard to.
You're right.
Return.
And they're making
Arthur Ashe is in the back. Back when they was doing it, they wasn't. That's when you can tell like athleticism clearly took over that sport. Basketball athleticism took over, but the reason why I always go back to the 90s is because they were smarter as basketball players. Right now, as dominating as KD is, right? All you have to do really is talk trash to him during the game, and now it's a one-on-one game. Right, Jordan did make it a one-on-one game, but he was gonna be dominant. He was gonna play you on both ends.
I guess he was built